Alright. Welcome back to The Rising of the Shield Hero, Anime Review episode number 12. Now, this episode basically is covering the 33rd episode of the series, A Parting in the Snow. This episode covers chapters 3 through 6 of volume 8 of the light novel series of Rising of the Hero. And they include, now, a lot of the stuff basically here is in the book itself, yes, except that Raphtalia, her stuff in this episode, like in the case of last episode, is complete and original. Because she's off in a different location, and Naofumi is reunited with her for quite some time. So, we pick up where we left off last episode, where basically the four, that being Naofumi, Risha, Raphtalia, and the hunting hero, what is her name? It is Kasuna. Yes, Kasuna. Where they leave this sort of like a shrine. They leave basically wherever that is, using her fishing pole to fish out of there, and they figure out a plan. So she suggests going to the capital of the country she basically was summoned to. But she also suggests basically going to, but that would take like a week walk to get there. We need a little quicker. So she suggests, why not using a dragon glass over in the capital of this country to go there? And Naofumi was like, they don't work like that in our world. Like, okay, so basically it's the same time. I mean, they call it like a return dragon belt, I think it's they call it. So they had formulated a plan to raise money in order to buy a pass to get into the city. Well, not only get in the city, but also basically to lead the city to use the dragon thing. So they figure out a way. So they use first they sell potions to raise money. And like an auction, and the very next day, and it goes really well, so they buy the pass, though in the book they say they buy it from the guild. They refer to it as a travel voucher in the book. In the anime, they refer to it as a pass, and it's a wooden pass, which, okay, interesting. Though I should point out some of the money they throw in there. Now, according to Naofumi, the currency is based upon old Japanese currency because the country is basically Japanese based. And apparently, Risha and Raphtalia in the episode have never heard of elves before. And yes, Risha, and of course, they do a little explanation about spirit people, where they're sort of corporeal but not entirely corporeal beings, which are basically glasses. So they show the various species, which this is from the book itself, which good the anime included this here. Normally anime might skip this, but they probably figured out this is probably important, so it is great they didn't cut this particular scene because it's kind of awkward basically to cut this because this is good character stuff here for this scene. Just walking around, just looking at these various people, and of course pointing out something that happened last season when Glass drank one of the SP potions that gave her a big power boost. So yeah, she's something to spare people, and it becomes a big hit. So the next day, it's a whole bunch of potions, and of course they have Risha. We have Kusha trip out Risha because they're breaking all the glass of the SP except for one, and sell like a big bundle, make some gold, and they buy the pass. So they go into the actual mansion where the glass is kept, but they're caught by identity. Like, oh crap, it's a trap. And by the way, are these guards armed with swords like noble guards? And usually in here's the thing: if you watch any type of thing featuring feudal Japan, guards are armed with swords. Yes, they will try to kill you if you basically break into their master's home. The way they show it here, it's like they're armed with beat 'em sticks. Yes, seriously, I'm like, did the animators, like, even though they are from Japan, I get the fact they're Japanese, fine. Could at least have these people have freaking katanas? Or, I don't know, a freaking sword? Why the heck are they basically chasing with beat 'em rods? I mean, it makes no freaking sense. I mean, heck, a spear would do nicely, but a freaking, like, little beat 'em up thing? Seriously? Oh, by the way, Naofumi, Risha, Raphtalia, and Kuna basically just pile drive through these. They basically plow these people so easily, despite the fact they're weird, weak level. Like, oh, you can't fight humans right now. She fights these humans no problem, probably just based upon experience. And wow, it is something though the fact that the Shield Hero's powers actually work in this world, despite that his power comes from a different world. Yep. So they split up. Of course, Nafu goes with Raphtalia, and Riichi goes with Karusha. So they eventually find they go near dead end. But so Raphtalia comes with an interesting idea: cut through the dead end, get to the thing, and of course they. By the way, I forgot to mention, there's this guy who looks like Q, like this genius guy, and it turns out, of course, they reveal later on he actually is working with Kaio, the book hero. So it shows up his genius experience. What experiment is this? They actually don't say. The book doesn't mention this either. Like, it is by far one of the strangest things related to this episode. Yeah. So, in the scene when this guy is introduced, it is like I was rereading the book. It is spot on. Like, with the exception of Raphtalia being there, it is completely like straight from the book. I at least appreciate though, despite the fact this episode has 4 chapters, it doesn't cut very much. Surprisingly, no, it cuts tiny bits here and there, but that's not anything major per se. And it doesn't feel like this episode is rushed, despite the fact this episode literally covered 4 chapters, which not bad. And meanwhile, get back to the thing. So, yeah, it turns out he's working for Kaio, and of course, they basically. Now, Fumi, Risha, and Keisha, they actually would transport no problem, but not Raphtalia. Probably because she's not in the next scene, so they probably thought, let's just basically move her, have go someplace else, reunite her later. Probably would have reunited her in the book. Possibly, yes. I think a transport of course, Nafumi basically is, we also have in the episode where Nafumi is basically holding her in his arms, petting her on the head, which she really enjoyed that. We also show that she gets cold in this episode. She gets hungry. It's pretty good on the part that basically that it is. So they get transported, and that's the episode ends. Yeah, and the wonder why the episode is called "Party in the Snow" because they part for Raphtalia. They probably figured out they probably thought Raphtalia here just for these 2 episodes, and then basically have her come back when the book basically picks up with her. Yes, so next one's called A Humming Fairy, which is actually the chapter name for chapter 12. Are they gonna adapt 6 chapters next episode? Who the heck freaking knows? It is possible. It's weird though that they're basically like, okay, so far this book is covered in just 2 episodes so far, which is basically the last episode, which comes the prelude, the first 2 chapters. This episode adapts 3 through 6. Do I think basically that, well, they're going to adapt more next week? It's possible to say at least. But I pray to God they'll rush this book. Yes. I mean, they kind of, in a way, didn't adapt very much book 6 and adapted book 7, not much of an issue. And here they're adapting books 8 so far, and they've already adapted for 6 out of 17 chapters. So they have literally 11 chapters left. So they could probably get a small handful of episodes left to go for this one. So my personal theory is that they're probably going to finish adapting this season, have the season finish up with this book, and maybe start book 9. But that's probably as far as they're going to go with it. That's just my personal theory anyways. And yeah, the only else I can say is it's a good episode. Good pacing, good writing, voice acting is fantastic. And, well, can't wait for next week, which is going to be the 8th episode of the season. Which, I should point out right now, this is basically this is the 7th episode of the season. This, by the way, being a 33rd episode series. There is currently 6 episodes left to go. We're already half of the season already, so we're probably going to finish up within 6 weeks. So, excuse me, so, let's see. Let's see, 1, 2, So I'd probably say I'm looking at the calendar right now, unless of course it's had an air Dell feature. This season will probably end with the first week of July. Yes, that's possible to say the least. Yes, I think that'll be the first week of July of when the season will finish up. If I think it'll finish up for my other shows, I mean, it's only like there's only like three shows right now. So this one, Scout of the World, and Kaguya-sama Love is War. I would probably say those two finish for this one because, well, in the case of both of them, I'm presuming those two will be 12 episodes, but who the heck knows? But this is the only one I've heard basically of an official confirmed episode count. Kaguya-sama Love is War, there's no official episode count for that one. Same thing with Skeleton in the World, no official episode count for that one either. But I'm hoping that one basically does season 2 because I'm enjoying that series. But in the case of basically Video Snipe, that's it for this particular video. I may do video tomorrow, maybe, but I've also got a stream to do tomorrow. But definitely see some videos tomorrow, Friday. Okay? Next video. Bye.